So MINDEF's total expenditure in FY 2023 is projected to increase 5.6% over FY 2022, on top of an 11.3% increase from FY 2021 to 2022. In the revenue and expenditure estimates for FY 2023-24, military expenditure is just a single line item with an amount of $17.0 billion, without any further breakdown. MINDEF does explain that operating expenditure includes the payments for the purchase of military equipment, maintenance of equipment and camps, allowances for national servicemen, and salaries of regular servicemen and women. While I understand the need for military secrecy, can MINDEF minimally provide the estimated expenditure for just these four items? This is a common practice in public budget estimates in other territories, including Taiwan, Latvia, and Finland, all of whom face real and existential threats. I'm aware that the Public Accounts Committee conducts scrutiny of the government's expenditure and accounts, including the defense budget. However, does the PAC have access to any breakdown of military expenditure? If not, it will be difficult for the committee to scrutinize the defense budget, given that military expenditure comprises almost 95% of the ministry's total budget. Sir, I'm proud to have served my full-time NS and completed all my operationally ready NS cycles. I support the need to maintain a strong and credible SAF to effectively defend Singapore. This is why I believe that more thorough scrutiny of MINDEF's budget and expenditure will help maintain public confidence that the $17.97 billion allocated to the ministry, the highest among all the ministries, is going entirely towards achieving its mission. Thank you.
By design, as members have noted, MINDEF does not give details information in the budget book. Members know the reason. It's not in our security interest to do so, just as we do not give the detailed cost figures for acquisition of planes, submarines, and army platforms, because they provide an indication of our capabilities. And similarly, we do not want to provide an aggregated amount for the acquisitions, because you can guess. If your capability development is this budget and is collected over years, what are you spending it for? But the key question I think that the member Gerald Giam asked, how then do you assure prudence and accountability of your spending? And like all public agencies, we are held to account for the management of funds, and we are subject to independent audits by the Auditor General's Office, where deep dives are taken into processes. In other words, you don't get to see the aggregated picture, but you can see any of the individual processes. So for example, AGO had discovered payment errors of flexible benefit allowances in FY 21, and these were promptly recovered. Now, MINDEF doesn't have any say to what the AGO wants to look at. If it wants to look at platforms, we have to show the processes, the detailed processes. As Mr. Giam said, the Public Accounts Committee can also request for additional information after examining AGO's audits, as it did in this case. We have strong internal controls to ensure that expenditure is within stipulated ranges of reference costs. In other words, when we pay for something, we take reference from other known quoted figures. And our procurement processes adhere to rigorous standards. When there are large-scale projects, we have senior management committees to ensure oversight and compliance. But I take the point. There is a necessary trade-off between accountability and full transparency. There has to be. But I think overall, Singaporeans with an NS Army can see what our dollars go into. And as I said, the detailed processes are subject to audit. Overall, MINDEF spending has stabilized at between 3 to 4% of our GDP. Barring increasing tensions or persistently high inflation, where military spending may have to go up, MINDEF expects this to be the steady state spending. I'll repeat that because my officials are very nervous about this. We've stabilized at between 3 to 4% of GDP. That's saying a lot. And barring increasing tensions or persistent high inflation, we expect this to be steady state spending. In fact, which means that over the past few decades, because we have matured, as a percentage of GDP, we have been spending less.